Hi, and welcome to Sanford's second Software and Internet Monthly Market Report for 2023. And as usual, we're going to be going through the previous month's M&A and venture capital activity across the entire technology landscape. So let's dive in on the M&A front first. So for February 2023, we saw a handful of large cap take privates and private M&A deals that really dominated the landscape. We talked a little bit about this one previously, but Toma acquired Coupa for $8 billion, which was done at almost a 10 times revenue multiple. That closed this month. Vista also acquired KnowBe4 for $4.6 billion, and that was done at almost a 15 times revenue multiple. And these two, Toma and Vista, have really dominated the take private landscape in this environment and have been doing some really, really interesting stuff. But just to summarize, I mean, in February, we saw $7.2 billion invested, 91 transactions, and a median multiple of 4.6 times revenue. So then moving on to yearly deal volume and dollars invested. So 2023 evidently is tracking considerably below 2022 figures. If we look at deal volume, it's tracking down about 30%, while dollars invested is tracking down about 67%. It's still early and a lot could change, obviously, especially if interest rates start declining again, although we don't know how likely that's going to be in 2023. So then looking at M&A multiples, the median revenue multiple for Q1 2023 did improve slightly from the back half of last year. We are seeing some compression at the top end of the spectrum as less and less of those software companies are getting some of those outsized double-digit ARR multiples that we saw in 2020, 2021, and early 2022. And you can really see that by looking at the trend of the 75th percentile multiple in those years relative to the recent period. And then moving on to SaaS versus non-SaaS multiples. So in last month's report, these multiples actually inverted, but since reversed in February. We are seeing an interesting trend, though, of elevated revenue multiples in some of those non-SaaS companies, which could be because buyers are seeing value in converting those non-SaaS businesses into SaaS and seeing a growth opportunity there. And we did talk a little bit about this previously in some of our other reports as well. And then just looking at things from an overall deal volume perspective, we did hit a new low in February with 91 deals, and it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the year shapes up with this interest rate and macro environment. So now moving on to the VC side of things. So let's take a look at how February 2023 shaped up. We saw $3.2 billion invested in February across 374 transactions, and the median deal size across all of these was 3.7 million. The one big one that did happen this month was Wiz's 300 million raise, which was led by Index Ventures, and that was done at a whopping 54 times multiple, which was one of the biggest ones we've seen in a while. And then looking at monthly deal volume, we did see a slight uptick in February relative to January. However, with the rising rates and continued macro tailwinds that we're seeing, the VC market is tightening generally, and that's pretty consistent with what we've been seeing and hearing from other partners that we talk with in the market. And then moving on to yearly deal volume and dollars invested. So like M&A, 2023 is tracking considerably below the 2022 figures. Deal volume's down about 41%, while dollars invested is down about 58%. Again, it's still early in the year and a lot could change, but we'll just have to wait and see how things shape up. And then really the last point to hit home on is just the sharp decline in VC valuations so far this year. They've been consistently declining across all stages from the elevated levels that we saw in 2022 and 2021. If we look at early stage, for example, 2023 is down about 30% year over year, mid stage is down about 32%, and late stage is down about 43%. Raising capital has obviously become a lot more challenging in this environment, as well as a lot more dilutive. So that's a wrap for this month's Software and Internet Monthly Market Report. Obviously, if any of you would like to get added to the next month's edition, feel free to reach out through the website and we'd be happy to get you on the mailing list. Thank you.